Does it fit the zeitgeist of the times? I mean, let's be sort of cognizant of the environment in which we're in right now, the state of the economy. You know, you've got Harris Poll. I mean, give me some sense as to what the American people needed to hear. Did they hear it?
Yeah, I mean, look, close to two-thirds of the people think the country's going in the wrong direction. Two-thirds think that the economy is going in the wrong direction. The economy, crime, inflation, immigration are all seen as kind of the most important or major problems. The president's ratings are in the low 40s, 42% approval, and in our poll, as low as 38 in some and 45 in others. The president's got some explaining to do about like why his ratings are so low, why he hasn't caught on, and then you have an exploding international situation between the continuing war in the Ukraine and a spy balloon that the military shot down days ago. He didn't really address foreign policy in any substantive way, even though he had an opportunity to because it was on more people's minds than usual. So part of the anomaly of the speech is that he didn't really he didn't really connect on the major problems that people were thinking about. He went ahead and ran through kind of a Democratic agenda, spoke to moderate Democrats, wanted to hold them together for the primaries that are coming up, show that he was a kind of a reasonable leader, wasn't too far to the left, wasn't going to give in to the right, and get 45 million people to see him that way. I think that was the goal, and I think they mostly achieved those goals.
So you mentioned, the opportunity to talk more about America and the world, foreign policy. Was there anything else that was missing, especially since if you were advising the president, having advised previous presidents on both sides of the House, what would you have advised him to do that perhaps is a missed opportunity besides what you just mentioned?
Well, I always used to get accused by Sandy Berger of taking too much foreign policy out of the speech. But in this case, I think there was an opportunity to discuss some of these issues. And look, did he mention Iran? Did he mention Israel? Did he mention the Mideast at all? No. He did a drive-by on China. He did a drive-by on the Ukraine, and he left out the most important and most tense area. And he did so for an obvious political reason. He didn't want to mention Israel and have maybe the Squad protest or object to his support for Israel. So he simply didn't mention it. It's very important to track what gets left in and what gets taken out. And that was an obvious omission that I think people will realize today. And I think look, he didn't really go into the crisis on the border. He didn't really go into the crime situation. He instead went into police misconduct and didn't really come around and address almost in any way what to do about criminals, as opposed to talking about the police. And he really didn't address inflation in any serious way. So, when you go back to these big issues that are happening here, there are a lot of significant omissions that in this speech, even though, like I said, it had a lot of good Democratic red meat in it.